Hi, my name is Chubb. I'm the Learning Strategist at the Student Success Center here at the University of Lethbridge. One of the things that I work on with students is reading. Reading week is a great time for students to catch up on reading, also a time to catch up on sleep or to relax a little bit. But there's definitely a lot of reading that students are catching up on during that week. When students come in and they want tips on how to read, I often talk about a method called SQ3R, and that stands for survey, question, read, recite, and review. So the first one, survey. It's a good habit just to get into when you first pick up that reading, just to skim over it first. Just 3 to 5 minutes, look over that reading. If it's a periodical or an article, look at the abstract, look at maybe some headers throughout it, take a look at the references, see who that person cited, to get a sense of what is that reading about. So you've surveyed, you have a bit of understanding of the big picture, you've come up with some questions, either some stuff that you don't know from the headers, or if you have a paper or an essay in that class, have your thesis statement or your topic written down, so you're mining that reading for answers to those questions for your paper. As you get into the reading, sometimes it's hard to get going with the reading, and students will often get a paragraph or two in before they really are able to start focusing. These two things will help with that focus. With the reading itself, sometimes starting with something like a case study, an example, something just to kind of build that momentum, build that motivation. Vary your reading speed if it's difficult, slow down if it's easy, speed up. Try reading it out loud if it's very difficult. One thing we find works well for students is to cover up what you've already read. Just kind of keep pace, keep track of where you are. You could use a pen or a piece of paper, cover up what you've already read to try and avoid rereading the same sentence over and over and over. Don't cover up what you haven't read, because that's just going to slow you down. So cover up what you're reading. When you get to the end of that paragraph or the end of that section, then you're on to reciting, to taking notes. Try not to write down every single thing that's written in the textbook. Sometimes you might get a used textbook and the whole thing's highlighted, and often what has happened is the person is highlighted as they're reading. So that looks important, highlight it. That looks important, highlight it. But that's not as effective as reading it and then trying to write it down in your own words. So read the paragraph, leave it covered up. What can I put down in my own words? So try and paraphrase it a little bit. It's going to save you time by not writing down everything word for word, and you actually know whether you understood it, because if you're writing it down exactly as it's written in the book, a direct quote, you might be thinking, what's for dinner, while you're writing that down. So paraphrase it a little bit. And then when you review that material, do it actively. Most students will simply reread their notes and go over and over and over their notes and then wonder why they don't do well in the exam. So make sure you're doing something active with that. So that's it, some tips on reading for reading week. Survey, question, read, recite, and review that information. I'm Chubb from the Student Success Center. Thanks for watching.